That he is.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Straight No Chaser Cowboys podcast. Happy Thanksgiving, and you know who the regulars are. My man D Brown, my man Richard Walker. Come bring that Cowboys content like nobody else. So how y'all feeling, gentlemen?
Feeling good, man. Happy Thanksgiving, gents.
Appreciate it.
Didn't know that we were gonna have burgers this year for Thanksgiving.
Show looking like it.
That on the menu.
It's show looking like it. Before we get going, let's get right, man. Let's get the music going. Let's get right. All right. So you know what time it is, man. So we may have burgers 2 weeks in a row. You know, that means the 40 burgers. So let's talk about the burger from last week. Giving that beat down to the Minnesota Vikings. Anybody want to take the wheel first on that one?
Well, it starts with number 11. We've been saying this for the longest. It's about damn time that we just get behind number 11, a.k.a. Micah Parsons.
Yes.
Again, we're going to go straight to the film, man, because I think if you can you play the clip?
Straight to it.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
you know how we do over here, man. We give y'all that film work over here.
Let's get straight to it, man. First things first. Look at the pressure. Look at the strip sack, the fumble. This set the tone for the entire day.
Indeed.
That one play set the tone. They let you know, hey, it's going to be a long day for y'all in Minnesota. So then, offensively speaking, we have been preaching this for the longest. Dak sits in the pocket. Make the smart play. It's okay. You don't have to go downfield into double coverage. You're going to see much more play. Hand the damn ball off. Thank you. On third and short, Beef. Looks like somebody been listening to Straight No Chaser, huh?
Absolutely.
You see much better play calling. You see better decision making. You see us taking the field goal instead of doing dumb stuff like we did against Green Bay. These are the few things that started off the tempo of this game that led it to be the burger that we got. Again, you're going to see the pressure here. Look at the spin move by Micah. You slow it down here. Yes, he got the completion, but this is the beginning of a trend of, first of all, we took Dalvin Cook away early, which is huge. You're going to see a nice tackle here. Eventually down the road, and then they recover from this, and then that was a penalty at the end of that. But you're going to see this the play. So it stopped them here on second. And then we're gonna go to third and short, passing down, boom, break it up. This is a symbol, an early symbol that things are gonna go our way. And then they kick the field goal. That's all you got, bro.
The Cowboys would have gave up 7.
At this point, it was 3-3, but it felt like 20-3 because we didn't get it done on the first drive, and you see the extra effort here by Gallup. I guess he found out he was on my hobos list, so that motivated him a little bit. Look, and then the running. We have been pounding this drum since the end of last year. Yep. Run the damn football. And did they run the football ever? Did they run the football? Tony Pollard would look like Tony Dorsett,
man,
last week, man, against Minnesota. He looked amazing. And then Zeke comes in with the Thunder. This is an excellent play by CeeDee Lamb to break up that tackle attempt on that screen pass. Very critical first down that we got there, and you see us pound that center of the defense and score with Zeke. This is the kind of Cowboys football that we've been begging for over a year and a half. It's not that complicated, man. Do you see how simple these plays are? Do you see how simple this approach is? Pressure on the quarterback, run the ball up the middle, keep them off the field on second and long. How long have we been saying this? On second and long, second and long, third and short, get them off the field. How long have we been preaching that? Anybody who's been watching the show knows this is what we've been preaching. There's another sack right here. This is the kind of stuff that will help you get towards a competitive level when you continue to break up those drives and then you move the chains here. This is the kind of stuff that we've been talking about for the longest, man. A balance. This is the most balanced game that we've seen from the Cowboys in years. And you see the results. Yeah, throw to the open guy, Dak. Imagine that. Yeah. The film speaks for itself.
Love that play right here, man.
Didn't we say this also?
Yeah.
Didn't we say that? Didn't we say this also? It's okay to use RPO because you got the wheels. Keep them guessing. I mean,
exactly. I said keep them off balance. Yep.
Keep them on balance. This is a great throw here by Dak. Should have been a catch. You still on my hobo list, Gil. Should have caught that.
Don't.
And this man, the field goals.
Yeah,
it was incredible because we haven't seen kicking be an impact for us for a while. It kicked 2 60-yard field goals because I don't even know where that BS came about reviewing the play after the kick.
It's crazy.
But he made it again anyway. So I think the film speaks for itself. We don't have to say much. The film does all the talking. I agree with you, April. Offense coordinator finally made smart play calling decisions and didn't rely on them. Yeah, we didn't rely on that. Dak did not have a 40 pass attempt game. As a matter of fact, I think I got the numbers right here. 22 of 25, 276, no touch, no interceptions. That's the key thing for me. I don't care if you pitch a no-hitter. I just want you to get us out of these innings.
Yep.
Yeah.
I need you to take me 7 to 8 innings, and then we even had a Cooper Mania appearance at the end, so you know that's a good sign.
Yeah.
This is what we've been talking about for the longest, man. So, what do you guys got?
Yeah, as always, Rich, that footage, the film doesn't lie. Man, one of the things I wanted to start off with about this game, I mean, the result was the result, and all of us that were on last week predicted the Cowboys L because we didn't see not so much. I mean, offensively, we didn't see the defensive effort coming that they put forward just because in the previous 2 weeks they just didn't have it. I mean, they were getting blown off the ball with just simple edge plays. They was getting gassed inside. They were getting beat down to the edge. All of that. So, man, what I wanted to start in terms of getting kudos, because the result is the result, but. And Rich, you can appreciate this more than anything. But man, I don't know that I've seen as dominant an effort in the trenches on both sides of the football for 60 minutes from a Dallas team in a long time. And usually there's a case where one of those units has a really, really good game and one unit was just okay, but you'd like to clean them up. But man, they dominated up front the entire game. It was a beautiful thing. I saw the comment. I think it was from April, about being in his bag. I think synergistically from an offensive standpoint, that was the best effort I've seen in a long time in terms of when plays were called, situational stuff, the execution. And I think of one play in particular when on the Pollard wheel route on the touchdown. They scheme it up. You can see Minnesota in pre-snap run a guy up in there to be disruptive, to actually get in Dak's face up the middle. So that play had to be blocked up, because it took so long to develop.
And guys, I streamed got temporary pause because of the game film we was using. So it usually takes about a minute to take it down, and then it'll be back up. So just FYI. All right. Save all that heat you got because they're not able to hear it just yet.
All right.
They don't see how they do that stuff, man. It's like you're clearly using it as a backdrop. We're not trying to recreate their stuff, but
know that
it happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what.
The other thing that to kind of piggyback off your point, specifically in regards to the play in the trenches, again, I got Tyler Smith.
It's nobody can hear you right now, Rich.
Huh?
Like the fans can't hear you yet.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, the stream. So we had the game film up.
Yeah.
They put a restriction on the video.
Okay. Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We weren't even trying to reproduce, content that wasn't ours. Just using it as a backdrop. But it takes about a minute or two.
They trying to interrupt a gangster.
Yeah.
They know we coming with the heat.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're trying to shut us down.
They know we coming with the heat. Yeah, bro. That
Jerry Jones sent his goons on the internet to take attention away from his picture from the 50s.
All right, we back now.
We back live.
Yeah, we back.
What up, y'all, man? Just to finish my point about the line play and one play in particular. YouTube hating on the Cowboys, no doubt, James. Man, the microcosm of how well they played was that play, that touchdown pass, the long touchdown pass to Parsons. Everything about that play, and this is a microcosm of how the day went for the Cowboys offensively. I mean, that was a great play call in that part of the field at that time of the game. And then so the play goes in, but then the execution on the field, right? I mean, the clear out route, the CD was perfect. The route that Pollard ran was perfect. The blocking was absolutely phenomenal because they sent a guy to they were going to actually blitz and actually run a twist to get up into Dak's face up the middle, and Zach Martin just stonewalled to do it. I mean, he gave evidence why he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame because he just stood that dude up and was like, bruh, no. And then Dak, no, I mean, just stop right here, no. And then Dak just dropped it down the chimney chute. I mean, it was a beautiful ball. Where Pollard just ran right into it, man. So I couldn't believe how efficient they were. Not a lot of penalties in the game. They got a few there at the end that were kind of crazy, but when they were really putting it on them, I mean, it was just I won't say perfect. I read a couple of articles on the Cowboys pages. Nick Eatman in particular talking about, can we raise the ball in this perfection? I said, well, man, let's tap brakes on perfection because they contained Dalvin Cook, but I mean, he still got them to 7 yards carry. He just didn't carry the ball a lot. So
they stopped him when it mattered.
Exactly. So they limited his effectiveness. I'm gonna say they just go out and just stop it. So that run game still needs to show up because they got that boy coming this afternoon. Yeah. We can talk about it later on. So that still is an area of concern. This isn't a completely healed and fixed run defense. But man, what it did show is if the Cowboys stick with that run game, 15 carries for Zeke, 15 carries for Pollard. Get him out of space, which we preach, Rich and Cliff, forever. Pollard, that is. Those long handoffs because of his pass receiving skills. If we make the other teams play from behind and let that pass rush eat, but it's going to be a tough out. That to me, that was the takeaway from last week. Is bro, if they played that football where teams have to play from behind and you take away their ability to run and control clock and man to drop back to pass, that's going to be a tough out, man. It's going to be a really tough out.
No question. And to me, a couple things that stood out inside this game. We've been singing the praises of Tyler Smith all season long.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, he gets an A++ for his performance. Not only did he start the game at left tackle, but he also slid over to left guard because we know how inconsistent Connor McGovern has been. And so for him to slide over and fix our problem there, and then I love that combination of him and our guy A.A.R. Peters. Stepping in and just absolutely taking things over at left tackle. Now they're already talking about, okay, when Tyron Smith comes back, I'm rolling my eyes at this. When Tyron Smith comes back,
get to you on this,
we're gonna move Tyler over to left guard. To me, that just tells me that we've only solved one offensive line problem. We either gonna put Tyler Smith at left tackle and leave him there, or we're gonna put him at left guard and draft another tackle. But the bottom line is Tyron Smith needs to hang his head up and lead the Dallas Cowboys organization at the end of the season. If he wants to do us a favor, he'll retire. If not, we need to cut his ass and move on. He's not worth the money.
Yeah.
Rich, I had a question for you. I'm glad you brought this up, man, because I specifically wanted to ask you on the show today about this because I knew this was going to be a thing for you. So, Tyron Smith, because I've seen the pictures and how close he is to coming back, and I saw the deal where Tyler Smith was getting Tyler Smith was getting some reps last week at guard. from your perspective, having played on the line, I know I've heard you talk a lot about the consistency of a unit. When they work together over in practices, over weeks of time in the game situations where it becomes instinctive, where they move like a synergistic unit. Bringing Tyron back and sticking him in, he hasn't played in all the season, 10, 11 weeks?
Right. He hadn't played since preseason.
So you bring him back, put him back there on the island, and you put Tyler back at guard. Doesn't that disrupt what's become a pretty salty unit up front from a continuity standpoint?
I wouldn't say disrupt, but I think they would have to learn how to play with him at left tackle, if that makes sense. Because I think of you think of an offensive line, you think it's like the steering wheel being the center, of course, but the mirrors being the tackles. Like when you're driving, you're driving with a steering wheel. Your left mirror is, saying when you're looking for your blind spots and all this way before you get over, and then you do the same on the right. So just think about a car where you're used to driving and it's got a big wide mirror and you can see everything in your blind spot. And then you fold that mirror in and now you're looking out of the little mirror and you're still trying to navigate that car. You might run over, you might hit the little bumps in the road and stuff like that along the way. You're still driving the car forward. But, as a unit, that guard, the splits between the guard and center and guard and center and so between guard and tackle to center, that develops based upon how these guys work together. When I play line with certain guys, I know I need to give him a little room to work, or if not, I need to get in tighter. Those kind of things. Collectively, they just kind of learn how everybody flows. So I don't, with them having not played together, obviously, my opinion, we don't want to try to figure that out going into the playoffs. So I don't know, if the line coaches have, planning to bring Tyron Smith back to walkthroughs earlier, but there's nothing like game reps, man. There's nothing like you out in the trenches, you fighting this tackle or this linebacker off you, and you kind of glance out of the corner of your eye, you see you guys working, so you know what they do, when to peel off, when to come, and whatever the situation is. They get a bit, I think sometimes a bit too cute with Tyron Smith at left tackle because of what Tyron used to be. He used to be the kind of guy you swing from one side of the line to the other. You pull. That's why he used to run all these little weird gadget plays where he pulled the tackle off and run him over to the left, to the other opposite side of the line, and pick up a lineman or a linebacker and open up a crease. I just hope that Beeve doesn't get overexcited and starts being too cute and starts drawing up all these bullshit plays.
Agreed.
Just keep it simple. Man on man, hat on hat. Open the lanes and get the hell out of the way and let your backs do their work. That's why it's working right now, because it's simple.
Yep. And we talked about that too, about the simplicity of it all. And on the tackle up, man, can't let the show come and go today without giving Terrence Steele some love, bro. Man,
we gotta get who?
Terrence Steele, bro.
Oh yeah.
Bro, he was mauling people. I mean, like 8-9 yards downfield. I mean, you see, he like Dick Clayton dudes, way down the field off the line of scrimmage. I said, man, this dude is acting a damn fool out here.
The value we got from him, Lord have mercy.
Man, I'm huge.
That's crazy, man.
Crazy value all over the field, man. We talked about it privately during the week. But for everybody that's listening, there's a graphic that came up during the week. I sent to the fellas. Cliff brought up the value point. We talk about great value. Talk about the great value that is Dorrance Armstrong.
Yes.
So in the offseason, one of the big defections that Cowboys had after obviously Amari Cooper was Randy Gregory. And if y'all remember, Randy Gregory actually agreed in principle to come back to the Cowboys, and then the 11th hour and 59th minute. The hell with y'all. I'm gonna go smoke in Denver. So and then talk bad about the Cowboys in the whole league. It just left with very bitter sour grapes. Well, just like this show has featured prominently this year, the film don't lie. So there was a graphic that came up during the week that shows the comparison because we barely mentioned Or actually, I think we kind of mentioned tongue in cheek that has anybody really missed Randy Gregory? No. But there was a graphic that came up during the week that showed a side-by-side comparison of the production between Randy Gregory, who's getting paid 4 for 70 with the Broncos, and Dorrance Armstrong, who's getting 2 for 12 with the Cowboys. And Dorrance Armstrong is blowing him off the field. You talk about getting bang for the buck. Cowboys doing a hell of a job doing that.
Meanwhile, Russell Wilson is getting the blues in Denver for their lack of success, but it's other things like that. Gregory signed that,
Yep.
In addition to some really bad coaching over in Denver. Oh my God, I like
no doubt.
Guy. But to your point, I think our immediate reaction to Randy Gregory the departure is there's still some accuracy to that, because some of the things he said was true. Some of the things he said about the way the front office does business is absolutely true. We've been saying some of the same things.
Fair enough.
I just think, you got to think about the systems that you're playing in. I think Randy went for the money. Randy didn't give a damn, what the outcome was going to be. Right. Because if I recall correctly, they have him standing up. He's not a stand. Randy's not a stand up. He's a finger in the dirt guy.
Yeah.
So schematically, you're really more of like an outside linebacker, more so than a D line. That's not him. He's a hand on the ground, fire off.
Agreed.
Beat the guy off the block kind of guy. So that's number one. Number two, of course, there's been some injuries with him. So, he hadn't played a full season. So you don't have a full sample of work to do a apples for apples comparison. But the production from Dorrance Armstrong is what made us forget about losing Randy Gregory. Because it was one of those things, just like left tackle. Oh my God, we lost one of our best pass rushers. What are we going to do? But, to the point, the way he was handled on the way out the door was still hideous. It was still clown work to piss off a free agent because of contract language and someone that's been within your organization. You come in with an advantage when you are a member of an organization and they're trying to resign you because they already know you, they know your agent, they know what you will and won't go for, and they try to pull shit anyway. It's clown work.
Well, because I think that loyalty call was going to lean a little too hard because how they stuck by him through his sugar honey iced tea, right? So I'm sure they overplayed that hand of just handling any kind of way. So I think it's kind of the derivative we see of that.
And it was a bit ignorant to the market too, because I guess they thought, okay, well, no one's going to offer you what we're offering, and his agent picked up the phone and it was like ordering a pizza or something. He's in Denver, just like that.
Back, though.
So
now this can't be a complete love fest after the impressive win last week, and just to be clear, that was a damn impressive win. That team was tied for the best record in the conference, and to go in their house and do that was incredible. I did have one gripe, and again, Rich, I thought about you on this. Man, so our guy Vander Elsewhere has regressed. And if you note on some of those runs, and I know you're paying attention, and I know you are too, Cliff, but he's gone back to running to the spot where the guy is going to be, then getting to where, instead of meeting him at the point of attack or meeting him at the he's actually taking angles. What he's meeting to do, like I'll catch him down here 8-9 yards down the field and then jump on the track and play, rather than taking the proper angle and taking the read and get to him, at or behind the line of scrimmage and making plays like that, which begs the question. When Barr gets back and with young Damone Clark and you got Jabril Cox sitting out there, does he make it through the end of the season, man? Can Dallas afford to have him through the end of the season? Because they're going to see some heavy run action the rest of the season. The last week's success is not going to deter the Giants today. It's not going to deter Washington. It's not going to deter the Titans. It's not going to deter the Eagles when they play in Christmas Eve. Everybody's going to stay at them. Can they sustain and try to do what they're going to do with Vander Elsewhere still roaming and chasing guys 8-9 yards down the field at linebacker?
I would say first, just from an outer optic standpoint, I mean, You see a lot of cases when the second leading tackler get benched over younger talent. I would think that loyalty play or his production play into that. You know what I mean? So I think that's a hard sell. Even though the film shows that we need to get people, like you say, the point of attack that can do that at a higher clip rather. But I think again, from a raw number standpoint, you got a guy come to your locker room like, look, yo, I'm the second leading tackler. What the hell? So that had to be a bold ass move to do that, in my opinion. Even though it was probably the better move.
Okay, fair enough.
But I think that, to your point, also, we have a coach. I keep saying coach because that's the level of respect I give him. Because in my opinion, he is our coach.
Dan
Quinn. We have a defensive coordinator in Dan Quinn who understands the business.
Yeah,
and he's going to do whatever it is schematically that he needs to do to make this team work. You can see that he did clearly. That was one other takeaway from this game. I think they took sort of a combination approach towards trying to address the issues in the interior of the line. And I don't think he's afraid to make a move or even cut reps, even if if I don't bench you. Maybe he cuts reps and say, okay, in these scenarios I'm going to use someone else. In these scenarios I'm going to use Vander elsewhere. I think it's crazy as sound. I think he could be effective if you just give him one job. Look, Vander elsewhere, I need you to go. Kind of think of him as like I don't even want to disrespect Charles Haley like that. Charles Haley was not a great run stopper.
He was not.
Charles Haley was a pass rusher, a pure pass rusher.
Yep.
And when he was able to focus on just that, he was great. Now, I'm damn sure not saying that Vander elsewhere can be that, but I'm just saying maybe you need to cut his workload down a little bit, get him to focus on one thing. This is the kind of things that Bill Belichick is the master of. Like how he would get guys that were like, they were just run stoppers, and okay, that's all I need you to do. He would get older Junior Seau who can't cover anymore. Okay, Seau, I need you to fill these gaps, man. Those kind of things.
Yeah.
I think Dan Quinn has the wisdom to look at the recipe and say, okay, we're not going to use as much of this guy. Only in these scenarios I'm going to use him, or So schematically, I would expect there to be changes more on that versus actually sending him to the bench.
And shout out real quick to Q Deshaun.
Shout out to you.
2 hours on. He says great conversation. And I know Q's a Steelers fan, but he likes to watch these sports podcasts, and so he really does. He watches them a lot.
We appreciate the love.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that, Q. Appreciate that. All right, so I want to make a hard right turn so we can get to game predictions since we're approaching the 30-minute mark. Y'all hit the like button, man. We got a good amount of viewers. Let's like the viewers. All right, so James Dandridge asked the question of our questions. See, we gave y'all 30 minutes of content before we went OBJ, and I kind of wanted to make sure we did it that way. So let's talk about it. Everybody in mom been talking about it all week long. So she says, do you think a healthy OBJ would make a difference on the field and locker room, or is this speculation just media driven for clicks?
Great question.
I think without question, a healthy Odell Beckham makes a difference in the locker room, in the film room, and
in the club,
on
the streets,
all that.
He automatically makes your receiver room way better. I think he's the kind of guy that will call Dak out on his BS to say, hey, come here. Let me show you something. And he will sit down with him and show him the film. This is what he tried to do with Baker Mayfield. But Baker acted like a bitch.
You're stubborn. Yeah.
He called him out on his inefficiencies. He tried to do it behind closed doors. But it was Baker Mayfield who was the one who curled up and whined and complained, "Oh, dear, my receiver called me out because I'm making bad decisions." No, he was the one who tried to fix things in Cleveland, but he doesn't get that press for that. He gets the negative press.
Good point.
Odell Beckham is you see all the players pandering for this guy. This ain't cap. You got Micah Parsons, you got Trayvon Diggs, you got Zeke,
Dak Prescott.
you got All Dak himself.
Yeah,
They're
Prescott.
begging us to
The
come on over, man.
QB1.
Because they know as an organization they will be better with Odell Beckham playing for them. Is he the dynamo that he used to be? The dude that caught the one-handed behind the head catch? He's not that anymore. But he's a leader. He's still a hell of a football player. He's still a smart player. He's a very physical player, which I like that. I like physical receivers. I like guys like Steve Smith. You know what I'm saying? That just they have this moxie about them, this attitude. He can help CD to learn how to put a shield of armor on him and fight those DBs back.
There's a word.
There's so much more that this guy offers, you know what I'm saying, in terms of intangibles. And like I said, to be brutally honest, we still don't have a clear number 2. Michael Gallup is the guy that we settled for because we couldn't work things out with Amari Cooper. Yeah. We settled for Michael Gallup, but Odell Beckham is a clear number 2. And I think he would gain the respect of that locker room. He would come in. He's the guy. He works hard. You're not leaving at 5 o'clock with Odell Beckham there. You're leaving at 7:30 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I think he brings that mindset to the game.
In addition to Richard's point, and James, again, great question. There was a word that we used, y'all, earlier in describing a similar situation, and that word was nuance. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the huge things that OBJ would bring to that wide receiver room. I just think to the team, period, but especially at that position, because CD is still coming into and learning, the nuances and the subtleties of being that number 1 guy. I think he's settled in as the year has gone on and has made more and more plays than obviously what he showed at the beginning. Mm-hmm. I think Michael Gallup showed a little bit of some confidence that in his, just in his knee, because you're starting to see some plays. I thought some of the grabs that he made in traffic and some of the effort that he gave after he made the catches looked more like the player that we were excited about before the knee injury. So I just think it's more of reps and a confidence. But, man, when you add an OBJ with what he's been in the league, what he's now accomplished in the league, because, anybody with any sense that watched knows he was a huge reason why the Rams went to and won that Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I mean, they added him, and that was the piece. I think he adds that same type of energy, to Rich's point, that work ethic. And I think even the nuance from Dak Prescott's standpoint on just in certain situations and certain subtleties on where to go with the football, when it's crunch time or whatever. But, on the field, he's going to open things up for those guys. And look at the flexibility, the position flex that he gives to beat. Mm-hmm. Because, CD showed his rookie year that he could play inside. Mm-hmm. So now, based on matchup, you can move Odell outside the numbers and put CD inside. You can flip-flop it, just however, whatever the defense gives you. So, yeah, James, to your question, I don't, and to back up Richard's point, there ain't any question that he gives them. It's going to get media clicks anyway because it's the Cowboys and it's Odell Beckham. But right. There's a lot of function, there's a lot of purpose, and there's a lot of substance to Odell Beckham coming here. And I hope like hell that that Daddy Fat Stacks, i.e. Gerald Wayne Jones, when he gets the chance, when he meets with him, that he does his, because one thing Gerald Wayne is, he's the best closer.
Yeah.
If he talks to you, he's going to sell the deal.
Yes. So, the other thing about Odell is Odell is a businessman, man.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
I mean, think about, saying him coming into the league. Yeah, he was not super highly touted. He had some clout, behind him coming to the league, but he built his brand throughout his career. Mm-hmm. And I think he's at the point where he's thinking, okay, I got 3 to 5 years of football left of me. What am I going to do afterwards? For those of you who don't know, he terminated his contract with Nike. So right now, he doesn't have a shoe deal. He's got the ability to strike one up when he wants. Aren't the Cowboys sponsored by Reebok? Aren't they own team sponsored by Reebok? Everybody else does.
I believe so. I think so.
Not sure.
Yeah.
I think he's looking at that as well. It's sort of like LeBron going to LA. Like LeBron starts the movie studio. He starts all of his post-career business endeavors, he starts laying the groundwork for that also. Odell Beckham is a superstar. He's a superstar. He's that superstar foxy. It's gonna carry into his post-career endeavors. He's gonna be trending, like a Richard Sherman or a prime, Deion Sanders, that kind of guy. He's gonna be in front of a camera or selling something or doing something to make a hell of a lot of money when his playing days are over. And having that star on your helmet is very good for business.
Yeah.
Great point.
And I think you guys crystallized all the positives, and I think I'll just kind of piggyback on the Dak point just a little bit. Because, I mean, one thing what we've seen with Dak is, man, in bigger games, you make him have to make too many decisions. He's probably going to make the wrong one. So with Odell, giving you that extra, like you say, versatility, on the receiver core, he's going to have some give me plays because Odell going to be so goddamn open. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to take that guessing game from Dak, that doubt game. And I think that's the kind of guy you need to just make it easy for him. Just make it easy for him. Because we got the Thunder and Lightning, running the ball all game long. But sometimes you have to air it out. And I think with a guy like that, with the locker room experience, like you said, with the playoff experience, like we've seen. Because you remember, Odell kind of was his biggest knock that he didn't produce, during big times in the game. He most was a regular season act. So he's got over that hump, and we're better to bring a guy in like that who knows how to do it. Who knows, who's battle tested, and is so versatile to give you all those underneath the routes that that Dak likes, but he just doesn't have a lot of guys who are willing to do it. So I would love to see that just from that purpose of just building number 4, because I think the longer the season goes, man, you need to just, like we said with Vander Elsewhere, don't have Dak doing everything. I think we all know it to be so. So I think Odell is the perfect safety valve for that purpose as we go further in the season.
You like Linus in his blanket, brother?
There you go. Exactly. That's a good reference. That is a damn good reference.
In his blanket, bro.
This is an excellent question. I love the question.
Yeah. And I gotta give a shout out. He's
in Dallas today, by the way. He is there today.
Oh yeah. I think his father from Dallas or something like that, right?
Dad's from Marshall.
Well, he's meeting with both teams after the game today. He's going to meet with both teams today. But the only thing that I think could be an outside factor would be, I don't know if he still has ties to the Giants organization internally, because they're the ones who drafted him, and so there might be a little bit of the homecoming sentiment there. But from a logical perspective, from a football perspective, and in terms of what's best for business, there's no way in hell it makes sense to choose the Giants over the Cowboys. They got a quarterback that I don't even know if he would be good enough to even come talk on this show, let alone be a starting quarterback, long term in the NFL. They got a huge question mark there. The Giants are surviving, and I say surviving instead of thriving. They're exceeding expectations mainly because of the unexpected play of their defense and their ability to run the football. Saquon. That's it. How far is that going to take you? And how does that benefit a guy like Odell, who's a receiver? I need somebody that's going to throw me the ball a little bit too.
Yeah. It's always been his gripe about getting the ball properly. So I don't see how Danny Dimes is going to fix that problem for him. Besides the nostalgia factor going back to the Giants. Oh, and before you go, Dan, I want to give a shout to a fallen hoop jargon member, man, Jose Muguria, man. He's from the Bay Area, San Jose to be exact. Yeah. He passed this morning, so wanted to acknowledge him.
Did he really?
Yeah, it's in the group. So I just wanted to acknowledge him on the show, man.
Oh wow, yeah,
man.
Our condolences to his family, man. I mean, we
very
always
funny guy, man. I got a chance to meet him when I went to the Bay in 2016, man. Very funny dude, tall dude.
Yeah, I remember the tall cat. Yeah.
So
I remember. Oh man,
rest in peace, Jose. So sorry we took a somber.
Hey man.
Turn, but I want to give him his acknowledgement.
You love to the target fam, no doubt.
He contributed, to the group in this way that he saw fit in for a long time. So all right, so OBJ, I'm sorry, go ahead, Rich. Go ahead and finish your point. And then we'll go into some.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, I just think, from the business perspective, the numbers that make sense, of course, the dollars, he would come in and occupy the number 2 receiver slot. He'd be a mentor to CeeDee Lamb, also a mentor to Dak. I just think that everyone's bought in on it. I think he's bought in on it. I think at this point it's just a matter of time. And I think the Rams would have been option number one, but they were cheap, and number two, you started having injuries. You're like, okay, wait a minute, I'm not going back there while y'all trying to rebuild this, man. So that's how the Cowboys were able to sneak in the conversation. Now, I say that to say this. Also think about the fact that there could be someone else that his people are talking to that we don't know yet.
Nobody's talking about, right?
Remember the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes? Nobody thought Cleveland was even a factor. Just saying.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
Kawhi Leonard. I mean, everybody was talking Lakers.
Yeah.
Yep. Clippers situation.
Yeah. Oh, he's looking for a house in Los Angeles. Yeah, he was.
Never considered the Clippers.
Yeah.
Right. Man, that was a great segue with what you mentioned earlier about matchup wise, as far as the Giants surviving and how the unexpected play of their defense, and obviously the monster year that Saquon Barkley is having, which this is kind of what we expected when Saquon came to the league. I mean, he's had some injuries derailed this season, but I mean, you can see when he was coming out of Penn State how special he was. But I mean, it has been that deal now. He's been slowed a little bit. A lot of it due to the lack of productivity from Danny Dimes, and there's huge question marks just from stuff I've been reading in the New York media of him even being there next year, which has to play, I would think, in the OBJ situation as well. But as far as today's matchup goes, you mentioned that defense, Rich. They took some big hits on the defense from injury, particularly in that blowout L against the Lions. And if you're Dallas today, that has to, you got to take advantage. I mean, this is, we get into the nut cutting part of the season. This is actually, when you think about it, if your season means anything, basically today on is when it starts. You played yourself into the conversation to this point at 7-3, come off with a huge road win, but the Giants are coming in here limping, depleted defensively. They are even more one-dimensional in terms of what their success will look like in getting a W today than they were last week or even the weeks previous. Dallas has got to get this game. I know it's a short week. Everybody's got to deal with it. But if Dallas looks like what they can do can happen, they can't hiccup today and have a repeat of, say, like Green Bay and give away a game that they absolutely should get.
And also noteworthy is that for the Giants, one of their leading receivers, Wan'Dale Robinson, is done for the year. He had a torn ACL.
Big play guy.
Yeah, big play guy.
Big play guy. He's their Gallup, pretty much, downfield threat. Yeah.
Right.
They got a laundry list of guys out, especially on their line, man. It's just it's no excuses today, man. It's no excuses.
Yeah.
Fellas, you know what was wild is I was looking at some of the matchups today. I forgot to send this to you, Cliff, but it's amazing. We talk about simplicity, right? In this game, and that's part of the beauty of it. Man, it's amazing. As I vamp for a sec, I pulled this, I saw this, and I took a screenshot of it, of how similar these teams are in terms of their production and how they got, to this game, right? These teams are both in the top 7 in running the football. Mm-hmm. They're both really porous against the run. Here we go. So offensively, Cowboys, they 17th in total yards. The Giants are 19th. Rushing yards, Cowboys are 8th. The Giants are 4th. Third down percentage, and a lot of it due to the huge success they had last week, because Cowboys were kind of lagging before last Sunday. But now the Cowboys are 13th in the league on third down percentage. The Giants are 17th. So the Giants have been pretty good on third down, which means they convert a lot, probably using Saquon Barkley. But check out the defensive piece. Total yards, Cowboys are 11th. Giants are 17th. Passing yards, Cowboys are 1st. Defensively, the Giants are 15th. Rushing yards, the Giants are 25th. Dallas is 26th. So guess what? Whoever runs the ball better today, probably gonna win the football game.
Exactly.
And now in the scoring as far as points given up, Dallas is first. Dallas is only giving up 16.7 a game. Giants are giving up 20.4, and Dallas is seventh in the league on giving up third down percentage, and the Giants are fifth. Pretty amazing, huh? They got identical records.
Mm-hmm.
All the similarities. Here we are in what, a game 11. How they literally right down the middle, statistically, in the win-loss column, and all of that. So, as much as we preach simplicity on this show, it doesn't get any simpler than it does today. Basically, whoever does better, getting off the field on third down, and who's ever more effective running the football today, probably gonna win this football game. And with the personnel issues that are in play today, that favors the Dallas Cowboys.
Absolutely.
I expect Dallas to handle their business and carry at least a little bit, not all of it, but at least a good part of that momentum from Sunday's ass whooping that they handed out in Minnesota. Yeah.
I see James said he gotta go finish cooking his bird, man. Happy Thanksgiving, fellas, man. Hey,
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks for tuning in, bro.
Tuning in today, man. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
They're missing too much on their line, man. We should have a field day up front. So,
and like Rich said, I hope the beef doesn't get cute, man. Just really rinse and repeat last week's game plan, man. Heavy, short yardage situations. Don't play with it. Don't try to play action and don't do it cute, man. Turn around and hand that ball. That jersey right there. Hand that ball to 2-1. And you know what? I was ready to cuss Bebop for 30 minutes on that one. I think it was a goal-to-goal situation. And the first two downs, they got cute. And then on third down, they bring Zeke in. What do? They turn around and hand the ball up to him. He bangs the dude at the line of scrimmage, spins right off of him, and walks in for the touchdown. I was like, bro, what are we doing? Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Let Zeke do his grimy, tough yard, short yardage thing, and turn around and let my man Pollard get to the edge, throw it to him a little bit in space, let him do what he does, break a tackle, go to the house, and then let that offensive line eat in that run game and do what they do, man. This is almost too easy.
Too easy.
There you go. Yeah, I don't think nothing intricate need to be said about this game. It's just
here's the one thing I fear though. Just because it's the Cowboys and April's earlier point, I want to bring this up because don't think we missed this. The one thing agree on one thing. The Cowboys are consistent at being inconsistent. April, you could not be true words were never spoken. And that's the one thing, because of that, April, that's the one thing that concerns me about this 10-point spread that the Cowboys are giving the Giants. I was like, oh man, big momentum, a lot of buzz in the short week, heavily favored, and everything should be Dallas. And then the ball kicks off. And
which team are we gonna see? Because sometimes they come out like Crips, sometimes they come out like Smurfs.
Yeah.
Still blue. We just don't know.
It's still blue.
No doubt.
Not quite the same.
No doubt. We need the Crip version, man. We need some Seawalks in that end zone.
Yeah.
And
Snoop Dogg, not Papa Smurf.
Yeah, no doubt.
I just, we can't keep laying eggs on Thanksgiving, man. If we recall back to man, we've been laying eggs. I think the Raiders was last year, right?
Yeah, overtime.
And before them, the Bills. Before them,
and the Bills was an embarrassment.
The Bills,
before that, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they've laid 3 eggs the last 3. And it's interesting you bring that up because if you remember, how did the tone of the season happen after the Thanksgiving daylight?
Done.
Just or even if they did make the playoffs, they kind of limped into it.
Mm-hmm.
There was no momentum. It was kind of hang on, back door. You hope this team loses. I mean, they had nothing, nothing forceful going into. December's were just weak as hell after Thanksgiving Day off. So that's a great point. That's a big thing to watch for today. Huge thing to watch for today.
This is our launching pad, or this is our road down to the slopes of hell.
Yeah,
it's one
the slow spiral down the drain.
Yep, there you go. Q said hilarious. Crips with Smurfs.
Well, one way or another, this game is a separation game. Either the Cowboys are going to fall back into whatever they were before and continue to fall off the face of the earth in the division race, or you for all intents and purposes, you eliminate the Giants today from the division race. If you beat them, you got a 2-game lead. They still have the Eagles and the Commanders on their schedule. I think it'd be too much of a hole, especially considering all the injuries for them to climb out of that. Now your position, as we mentioned last week, we didn't want to talk about the division at this point. Now, with a win today, you put yourself in a position where you can start to pursue the Eagles because they have a wounded Green Bay team, a red-hot Titans team, these same Giants, and then also the resurgent Bears, who have been playing better as of late, all on the schedule before they play us on Christmas Eve. So I think it's an opportunity for us to set the stage. If we beat the Giants today and handle business all the way up until that matchup on Christmas Eve, and then the Eagles, likewise, let's say they split the difference, then you're looking at a situation where the division title is up for grabs on Christmas Eve, basically. Yeah. So that should be the focus to me.
Agreed. Now, before we do predictions, man, are we going to do Lucky before the predictions or after? Is it not?
Yeah. We get that going now. Let's go do the Lucky Whitehead Award. Sound like Shan Sharp today.
Oh no,
Shan Sharp was trying to say something today, boy. He's getting out the blocks hard.
Yes.
He was like, slow down, restart, Shan. All right, so the coveted part of our show is the Lucky Whitehead Award show. It's the person who gave you, just a stellar performance in maybe in an unsung way, maybe in a sung way. We just kind of make it when we make it. So anybody want to start first with their Lucky Whitehead Award?
I don't think I've ever given the Lucky Whitehead Award to a kicker before, but this time I think I'm going to make an exception. Brett Maher. Yes, Brett Maher, man.
No doubt.
He faced the stench of Greg the Leg. I was a bit concerned about him. I was like, I know we had to get somebody. I'm glad that Greg the Leg's gone, but I was hoping that we would try to make some type of move in free agency or somebody, but he's done a damn good job. And again, to hit 2 60-yard field goals, one of them being taken away from you, and go right back out and ice another one, like nothing happened. So we have been very consistent kicking this year, and that's a good thing. And also his placement on kickoffs.
Yep.
Something that's been something that I've really come to appreciate this year.
There you go. All right, what you got, Dan?
Man, I was going with Maher. I mean, it would have been real easy given the huge game that Tony Pollard had, but man, Brett Maher, bro, and the decider was, man, you knock down this dude's hitting 50 yards like 30 yards now. I mean, he's hit like 8 of them this year, and those aren't easy kicks. Yeah. And then he laid down, not one but 2 60 yards. And the one that actually counted would have been good from 68.
That's crazy.
I mean,
this is the guy that we were hoping for years ago when he first joined the organization.
Right.
And I guess maybe he's sort of having like a Nick Folk type resurgence where he's like, okay, I figured this thing out. I know how to make crucial kicks. I know how to, add some leg power and some accuracy.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you're doing, Maher, keep it going.
I'm doing that.
We're damn sure tired of seeing Charlie Brown, a.k.a. Greg the Leg, Mr. Football, and Lucy pull it away.
Chip shots. Like, come on, bro. Chip shots this dude be missing.
Yeah, what you got, Cliff?
Yeah, all right. So for my Lucky Whitehead Award, I'm going to give it to C.D. Lamb, man. That catch he had, holding the line right there before the half.
Oh, that was crazy.
Wow. Yeah,
that was a crazy catch.
Yeah, that was big time.
Because C.D. Lamb, he has a lot of, good moments per se. He leaves a lot to be desired. Doesn't have a lot of signature moments. I thought that there was one of his signature moments right there. So I'm going to give him a Lucky Whitehead Award.
I like it.
Yeah. And then do we address this comment real quick before we do?
Let's do that.
All right. So All Day Sports Talk 365 said, force the Giants to throw and you guys win.
Simple recipe.
Agreed.
Very simple recipe.
Yep.
Turkey and dressing always will get dinner served. Simple as that.
I like that.
Simple as that.
Come in bringing new dishes.
It's just very simple. Force them to throw. Yeah, they're missing their playmaking receiver. They got all type of issues on the offensive line. This feeds into a ball hawking secondary with a pass rush that's ferocious against a quarterback who's really not that good, to be honest. So that's the recipe. Stop the run and everything else will take care of itself. Put them in a situation where they have to throw the football consistently, and everything else will take care of itself. Simple as that. Dinner served.
It is. There you go.
Dinner served.
All right, round the show off, gentlemen. Predictions, or if you want to chime in on that, Dan.
No. Oh, good. I totally agree. Yeah.
All right. So
repeat of last week's game plan.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins, man. I mean, he feast your family.
Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones.
Yeah. So yeah, Daniel Jones. Yeah, don't put fear in nobody's heart. So let's go score predictions for today. What do we have, gentlemen?
What you got?
Let's see. Given the personnel problems, and this is the optimist side. There's hope less to carry over from what they put forward in Minnesota, and much of the same. If they go out and take care of their business, I expect Dallas to handle that thing. I'm going 38-17 Dallas.
Ooh, okay, got a heavy dose.
Yep.
I'm looking more for the simple recipe that we just talked about: running the football, pressure on the quarterback, good coverage, no boneheaded penalties today. Keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go out and win, and let's get ready for the Colts, that's gonna be a very, very tough matchup. The Colts is one that you need to circle on the calendar. I would say 28-6.
Good prediction.
Cowboys.
Okay. Man, I want to bring the burger out. I'm just
I want to bring the burger out.
I'm afraid, man.
Burgers,
What'd you say?
So you've been craving burgers all season when they finally started out there.
I got an unexpected one last week, but I want a shot call the burger. I'm not. I'm gonna go 27-13 Dallas Cowboys. I think it's gonna look like a bigger ass whooping than that, but
yeah,
we'll find a way to. I got to put the Cowboy Thanksgiving training wheels on for this game. I just have to. So I'm not going to do it to myself.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to do it to myself.
No, that's fair. I mean, they lost the last three. That's fair. And again, it's like I said earlier, Clip. Like there was no expectation of what we saw last week, right? And then they go out and beat the living shit out of the Vikings. Yeah. There's a heavy expectation for Dallas to win and win big today. Yeah. So there's a little bit of tempered enthusiasm because this team hadn't shown the consistency yet to go out when expected to go beat somebody's ass. So they should.
Great woman once said.
Yeah, April said it best. We can agree on one thing: the Cowboys are consistent at being inconsistent. So
yeah.
I'm gonna go glass half full on this Thanksgiving holiday, and it's like whoop that ass.
There you go.
I would love to see Cooper Rush turning around and handing the ball off to Malik.
There you go.
At the end of the game.
That is the ideal situation. There you go.
Yeah.
It's going to be the proverbial victory.
Yeah. Go ahead and get you a turkey leg, Dak CD. Get you a turkey leg. Get you some stuff from dressing, man. We got this.
Yes, sir.
You put the clipboard down. You go out there. You hand the ball off to Malik Davis 3 times and go home. That's what I want to see.
Hat to the back. Get your turkey leg.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good to see you, Andrew. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, bro.
Wow, baby. Okay, Eagle fan.
For all the players out there, make sure you get your plate before that fat ass Mike McCarthy. He's not gonna leave nothing left. He's gonna take all the white meat and everything.
He ain't missed no meals. Sorry.
Matter of fact, I think he took some.
Yeah,
he took some.
All right, so another good show with the books. We got the Cowboys coming out victorious on this Thanksgiving Day. I hope y'all have a great Thanksgiving. And before we leave, you know what time it is.
Hey man, straight no chaser, room temperature. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
There you go.
Go Cowboys.
Peace out.
Peace.